The most peaceful country on Earth just became a military powerhouse, and nobody saw it coming. For 80 years, Japan was the one nation that refused to fight, the country that literally wrote peace into its constitution. But in the last 3 years, they've done something that's about to completely flip the balance of power in Asia. And if you think this doesn't affect you, think again. Because what Japan just pulled off is going to force every major power in the Pacific to rethink their entire strategy. Here's what just happened. Japan, the nation that swore never to build aircraft carriers again, just converted 2 warships into full-blown carriers, equipped with F-35 stealth fighters. Yeah, you heard that right, aircraft carriers. The first since World War II. The JS Kaga and JS Izumo. These aren't some small patrol boats. These are 27,000-ton beasts that can launch the most advanced stealth jets on the planet, the F-35B. And in August 2025, Japan received its first batch of these fighters. By 2027, they'll have 42 of them operating from carriers. But wait, it gets way crazier. Japan also just bought 400 Tomahawk cruise missiles from the US. These aren't defensive weapons, these are offensive strike missiles with a range of 1,000 miles. That means Japan can now hit targets deep inside China or North Korea from the safety of their own waters. And they're not stopping there. They're deploying advanced Type 12 missiles with ranges up to 1,200 kilometers on islands near Taiwan, plus hypersonic missiles, AI-powered drones, and even considering nuclear-powered submarines. This isn't just an upgrade, this is a complete military revolution. So, how is Japan paying for all of this? Simple. They're throwing money at it like there's no tomorrow. Japan's defense budget for 2025, $57 billion. That's the highest in their history. And for 2026, they're planning to spend $60 billion, more than Bolivia's entire GDP. But here's the kicker. This is the 13th consecutive year Japan has increased military spending. They're on track to become the 3rd largest military spender in the world by 2027, right behind the US and China. Remember, this is a country that spent decades barely funding its military. Now, they're going all in. The goal? Spend 2% of their GDP on defense by 2027. That's NATO-level commitment.
All right, quick timeout. If you're still here and haven't hit subscribe, what are you waiting for? We're literally watching one of the biggest geopolitical shifts in modern history unfold in real time, and you're just gonna scroll past that? Nah, hit that button, because trust me, what comes next is gonna change how you see the entire Pacific region. Don't miss it. Back to the story. So, why is Japan doing all this? 3 words: China, Russia, North Korea. Let's start with China. Beijing has the world's largest navy by hull count. They've got 2 aircraft carriers prowling the Pacific, and they're constantly threatening Taiwan, which, by the way, is only 110 kilometers from Japan's southernmost islands. Japan's Prime Minister, Sanae Takaichi, literally said if China attacks Taiwan, Japan might respond militarily. That's huge. Japan hasn't talked like that since 1945. Then there's North Korea. They've been firing ballistic missiles over Japan for years. In November 2025, Japan's defense minister announced they're deploying anti-aircraft missiles on Yonaguni Island, the closest Japanese territory to Taiwan. That island is basically a frontline base now. And Russia? They're conducting joint military drills with China and North Korea in the Pacific. The message is clear. Japan is surrounded by hostile powers. So, Japan looked at the situation and said, we can't rely on anyone else. We need to defend ourselves. And they're doing it in the most aggressive way possible. Now here's where it gets interesting for the rest of Asia. Japan isn't just buying weapons, they're developing next-generation tech that's going to set the standard for the entire region. For example, they're building a new modular long-range anti-ship missile designed to turn the Miyako Strait, one of China's only routes to the open Pacific, into a no-go zone.
This missile can hit ships from hundreds of kilometers away using AI-guided swarm technology. And get this, in September 2025, the US deployed its Typhoon missile system to Japan for the first time. This thing fires both Tomahawks and SM-6 missiles, giving Japan the ability to strike land and sea targets at extreme ranges. China freaked out, called it militarization of Asia. Japan is also working with the UK and Italy on the Global Combat Air Program, a sixth-generation stealth fighter jet that'll make the F-35 look outdated, expected by 2035. Oh, and those F-35s Japan just got? They can network with US, British, and Australian F-35s in real time, creating a multinational stealth fighter network across the entire Indo-Pacific. That's a game changer. So, what does all this mean for the rest of Asia? Well, for starters, South Korea is watching closely. If Japan can rearm this fast, Seoul might feel pressure to do the same, especially with North Korea acting up. Australia just bought 200 Tomahawks and is deepening military ties with Japan. They're now part of a US, Japan, Australia triangle that's basically designed to contain China. The Philippines is also getting closer to Japan. They're hosting more joint exercises and opening their bases to Japanese forces. Even India is paying attention. Japan is a key Quad partner, and this military buildup strengthens the alliance against Chinese expansion. But the biggest impact? China. Beijing is not happy. Every missile Japan deploys, every carrier it builds, every exercise it runs with the US, it all makes a Taiwan invasion harder, and that's exactly the point. So yeah, Japan's military expansion is a total game changer. It's forcing China to rethink its Taiwan strategy. It's pushing other Asian nations to pick sides, and it's creating a new security architecture in the Pacific that didn't exist 5 years ago. The quiet, pacifist Japan, that's over. This is the new Japan, armed, assertive, and ready to defend itself. The question is, how will the rest of Asia respond? If this blew your mind, smash that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe, because the Indo-Pacific is heating up, and you're gonna want to be here for what happens next. See you in the next one.